Alright people, I have finally watched Star Wars Theory's Vader fan film, Shards of the Past. It was released 7 years ago and currently has 30 million views. Pretty impressive. After finally watching it, I've come to the conclusion that the majority of fan films are really lame and gay, and this is no exception. Despite it being essentially an original story, written in part by Star Wars Theory, there are also elements that are clearly inspired by the Disney Vader comics, which isn't much of a surprise since Star Wars Theory, despite what some of his fans think, is a big fan of Disney Star Wars, and considers it the true canon. He even has a very well-known Disney shill playing Padme in this. It is also very comical that apparently it costs over $150,000 to make. Props to Theory for funding the whole thing himself, for a fan film that is high budget. But it's important to remember, a high budget does not translate to high quality. It suffers from all the same creative issues that every other Star Wars fan film has. When it's not based on an actual piece of Star Wars material, like something in the expanded universe, and it's someone's own original idea, it always ends up being lame and gay. And I don't doubt that this really boosted Star Wars Theory's ego and his platform. 30 million views, that's definitely elevated his channel to the point where it's now the biggest Star Wars channel on the platform, at least in terms of subscribers. And one of the funniest things about this is Theory always cried about Kenobi and the quality of it, the budget, all of that, when this fan film really feels like something that would fit perfectly in that show. It is on par with that in the sense that they are both garbage and embarrassing. Palpatine is in this, and it is genuinely a terrible performance. I don't know why it gets all the hype, I don't know why it gets any praise. Half of what he's saying you can barely understand. It is not a good attempt at a Palpatine, and Vader's voice is very jarring as well because it sounds nothing like the character, which is a critique that Star Wars Theory himself had about Vader's appearance in that Outlaws game. And this next point is a total nitpick, but Star Wars Theory does appear in the fan film as Darth Vader himself, and for some reason he has eyelashes. For such a big Star Wars fan, you'd think he'd understand that Vader does not have any body hair because of that thing that happened to him. And Vader is obviously a powerful character, but I think Star Wars Theory really overestimates just how powerful he actually is. He's not this godlike character. There's a reason he needed Luke's help to defeat Palpatine, because he wasn't strong enough on his own. And I think this is more of his Disney fanboyisms infecting his thinking, because it seems like the people who work at Disney also think Darth Vader is way more powerful than he actually is. But hey, it's not all hopeless. I think Theory's made some good decisions in regards to Vader Episode 2. These live-action Star Wars fan films always look really cheap, and that can't be helped because these are amateur productions. But switching it to CG is going to do a lot of heavy lifting in terms of making it look like a higher quality product. But these Star Wars fan films, the way they look is not really the problem. The problem is the writing. A lot of Star Wars fans have terrible ideas. One of the dumbest things you could do, one of the dumbest things you could think is a good idea, is bringing Mace Windu back from the dead. Oh, he actually survived in Episode 3. Terrible, idiotic. You completely misunderstand the reason of his death, why it's important to keep him dead, why it actually matters. It doesn't matter that it's cool that he's gonna fight Vader. That's a cool idea, but it's also fucking stupid. And that's what you're gonna get in Vader Episode 2. Spectacle over substance. You're gonna see that and think, wow, this is so cool, and you're not gonna realize that it's fucking stupid. And you're gonna have all these mouth breathers in the comments saying stuff like, this is what Disney should be doing. Leave it to the fans to make real Star Wars. It's bullshit. All of it is bullshit. You're all idiots. You're just as dumb as Star Wars Theory. And there are a lot of people who don't really understand the concept of fan fiction. It is still worthy of being criticized. Going easy on it because it's a fan production is not really going to benefit anyone. Nothing is above criticism, especially if you care about the art form of filmmaking. This fan film is lauded as a great achievement. Meanwhile, there are plenty of amateur directors who have made feature-length films that are better written and cost far less money. Now, we have also gotten some clips from Episode 2 Very short stuff, we get to see Mace Windu fight some stormtroopers, and we see Vader as well, but at the start of one of these clips, there's a dedication to Dave Filoni, and I would be very interested to see if that dedication is still there when episode 2 actually releases. The architect of everything wrong with Disney Star Wars getting a dedication in Star Wars Theory's fan film when Star Wars Theory has the reputation of being so against Disney Star Wars? I would love to see that. And hopefully we're not going to have to wait much longer to get episode 2. I'm pretty sure it's called something like The Amethyst Blade or some gay shit like that because Mace Windu. So lame. So lame and so gay. Just like every other Star Wars fan film that is based on someone's own original ideas. That's all I've really got to say about it. Truly a fan film of all time.